Previously on Gamers Blog Episode 2, Part 1. In the first part of Episode 2, I decided to count down some of the most memorable Sony games of all time, including Crash Bandicoot Warped, and also Spyro the Dragon. Both of these games have featured many different types of gameplay mechanics which has never been shown off in a platformer game before, such as speed boosting in Spyro the Dragon, and riding on a tiger while going on the Great Wall of China in Crash Bandicoot Warped. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon would both become Sony's top two icons of the late 90s. The key factors in which contributed to Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot's success were the varied enemies within each level, and also the different types of gameplay mechanics which were used in each game. These two games contributed to Sony's success in the late 90s because they were very popular and sold thousands of copies. Alright guys, welcome to our feature presentation. I hope you enjoyed that little recap of Part 1. Right now I'm going to be covering games that were released in 2000 up until 2002. So I hope you guys enjoy this part. I will not be covering Spyro 2 and 3 just for time reasons, but you guys already know those games are awesome. But yeah, let's get on to the feature presentation. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys later. Now that the PlayStation 1's popularity has died out, a new console will be unveiled called the PlayStation 2. This new gaming console is said to have better gameplay and graphics for each game that's released under the console. Now let's see what Sony can bring to the table with this new and innovative system. The third game on my countdown list is going to be one of my all-time favorites, which is Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy, which was released by Naughty Dog back in 2001, the same company that created the Crash Bandicoot series. In the game, you follow two protagonists called Jak and his friend Daxter, who is a ferret-like creature called a muse. They later encountered two villains on Misty Island named Gull and Maya. Gull and Maya used to be normal people until they fell into a vat of dark ego and decided to take over the entire world. Unlike Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter focuses more on the collecting and exploration, while Ratchet & Clank focuses more on the weapons. Throughout Jak and Daxter, you'll be able to collect many collectibles such as power cells, scout flies, and even precursor orbs. Precursor orbs can also be traded with villagers in exchange for power cells. You could also help out the villagers by herding their animals back into their pens in exchange for a power cell. Small structures called oracles can contain two power cells and can also be found all throughout the Jak and Daxter world. As you can see, collectibles play a huge part in the Jak and Daxter game, but another thing that plays a huge part is the thing called egos. Egos play a huge part in the game and come in many different colors, shapes, and sizes. For example, blue ego allows Jak to run faster and break open boxes nearby. It also allows him to activate precursor artifacts, which will allow him to open doors and even jump higher. The next type is green ego, which plays a huge role in the game and is Jak's main source of health and energy. Another type of ego is red ego, which allows Jak to punch harder, which comes in handy for taking out large enemies or breaking open metal encased boxes. And finally, my personal favorite type of ego, which is yellow ego, which allows Jak to shoot yellow fireballs out of his fingertips. Another great thing about Jak and Daxter is if you help out certain villagers in the town, you'll be able to further yourself in the game. For example, helping out the fisherman allows you to use his boat and head over to Misty Island. And also, if you give 90 orbs to this villager, he'll allow you to open up a bridge so you can get over to Boggy Swamp, which is another expansion of the Jak and Daxter world. And the game is also separated into different towns and sections of the world, such as Sandover Village and Sentinel Beach, which is one of my personal favorites in the entire game. The reason this game is so amazing is because of its vast and beautiful in-game world. One effective way of getting around in the world is by the use of a zoomer. A zoomer is a vehicle created by Kira which hovers above the ground and is very dangerous when it comes in contact with lava or explosive crates as seen right here. It is very effective in getting from point A to point B and is used several times in the game. My only complaint about Jak and Daxter is the lack of boss battles. There was only 2 boss battles in the game, not including the one in the Forbidden Jungle, and I have to say they were a little bit dull and repetitive after a while, and they could have added a few more gameplay mechanics just to make them exciting. So that's my only complaint about this game. Other than that, it's absolutely perfect. So far, I have discussed the characters, the ecos, the collectibles in the game, and pretty much everything I could talk about. And if you guys have any questions or comments, just post them down below about Jak and Daxter. I'll answer every question I can. And if you have any questions, just watch my Jak and Daxter review, which I posted about 1.5 years ago. So stay tuned for Ratchet & Clank coming up next, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Jak and Daxter. A lot of time and effort went into this, so yeah, it took me about 4 months just to get this footage all done, so stay tuned. Up next. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that review of Jak and Daxter. I gave that game a perfect 10. I know I didn't put it on there, but it's just an absolutely perfect game. But yeah, stay tuned for my Ratchet & Clank review, which is coming up right now. So yeah, sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. In the year 2002, the same company that created the Spyro the Dragon series, which was very popular in the late 90s, has come out with a new platforming duo which will put Jak and Daxter a run for their money. This company is Insomniac Games, and number 4 on the list is the one, the only, Ratchet & Clank. Just like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet & Clank is an open-world platformer which perfectly blends platforming and gunplay at the same time. Traveling isn't that difficult for Ratchet & Clank because all the planets are listed on the ship's computer. Now let's discuss the story of Ratchet & Clank. Ratchet, who is your everyday Lombax, loves to fix and repair vehicles. Meanwhile, at a robot manufacturing facility, a computer has crashed which created a small robot named Clank. He later steals a ship from the facility and decides to set off and find Captain Cork, but he crash lands on Ratchet's planet, which is Planet Velden. Earlier in the game, you'll meet a character named Drek, whose planet has become overpopulated with millions of people. He later decides to create a new planet which will kill millions of people in the process. Ratchet and Clank later meet up and decide to find Captain Cork, who's an old superhero who is the only one who could stop Drek from completing his plan. Later on in the game, you'll meet a few more characters named Helga, who's a fitness course trainer, Big Al, who's a weapons manufacturer, and he'll give you a few new gadgets which will allow you to jump higher and jump a further distance, and also Skid McMarks, who's a professional hover bike racer. But a great story isn't all that this game delivers, it also delivers great gameplay. Even though platforming is perfect in this game, Insomniac has also added a few new water mechanics which are absolutely great. They've also added an in-game store which allows you to purchase weapons. Some of the weapons, such as the swing shot, allow you to swing from platform to platform. The cutscenes in this game are absolutely great and full of humor, and really adds to the storyline of Ratchet & Clank.
No, actually I build robots. I myself am not a robot guy, per se. Nerd.
Apart from the storyline, one of the main objectives in the game is to collect bolts. Bolts will be used for purchasing upgrades and buying new weapons. There are also hidden items laying around such as gold and platinum bolts, but they are sometimes very hard to find. A few times in the game, you'll be able to play some flying missions which allow Ratchet to fly a ship and shoot many targets at once. A few other weapons in the game are the Hydro Displacer, which allows you to displace water out of a certain area and get to your next position. Another example is the Trespasser, which allows you to redirect lasers in order to open a door. I have to say my favorite weapon in the entire game is the Rhino. One of the reasons is because it could shoot multiple missiles at the same time and is very exciting to use. The ending boss battle in this game definitely is one of the hardest I ever played, but if you're a cheater like me and you bought the Rhino by doing the glitch, then it was pretty damn easy. But even though the boss battle is challenging, it is definitely pretty fun to play, even though if you don't have the Rhino. And now I only have one more category to go until I finally finish this review. So far I've discussed the gameplay, the weapons, the gadgets, and everything I could talk about in this review, but I only have one more category to go, and that is the music. Like all video games, the music is always my favorite thing. Just something about video game music that I always liked, and I don't really know what it is. But Ratchet & Clank has a different feel to it. It feels more futuristic and awesome. I'm not sure who composed the music for Ratchet & Clank, but I heard it was Stuart Copeland, who's my favorite composer of all time. If so, then this music is absolutely perfect, and it has a great feel to the game. So far in this review, I have covered the gameplay, guns, story, and cutscenes, and this game is absolutely perfect and there's nothing else I could talk about. If I was grading the game, I would give it an absolute perfect 10, because that's what it deserves. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the ending coming up next.
Dad blast it!
Look, plumber's crack.
What did you just say?
I said, look, the plumber's back.
All right, wise guy.
Okay guys, I would like to say thank you all for watching the Gamers Blog episode 2. If you really liked this video, leave me some feedback down below. But try to leave some good comments, just because it took 3 months to make this video and get all the footage. So yeah, leave a like and a favorite, and if you really liked it, subscribe. And stay tuned for the credits. I'll see you guys later.